how do you look at the sort of cell market? Mobile's obvious. Web 3.0 is
Well,
mobile.
I think that the period in the limelight for the iPhone is, kind of in its last stages. I don't mean the iPhone is dead or bad or anything like that, but I think we're going to have the first Android phones coming soon. A RIM is coming out with not this BlackBerry Bold, which is an improved version of a traditional BlackBerry, but with a model believed to be called the Thunder that's coming later that will be in this category. And these things are all kind of a higher level of the trend that began with the Trios and the early Windows mobile phones and the early larger BlackBerries, these things are handheld computers. But the iPhone kind of kicked it up to a higher level because it uses a PC grade, I think, operating system, and it has a fresh UI and a development platform, and so you can use it kind of like a little laptop. And I think there's both. So the answer is, I think there's a whole new category of these devices. The iPhone has kind of been the first one, but there are going to be a bunch of others. Certainly Nokia understands this, and they're working toward the same goal. I think it will disadvantage the Korean manufacturers, Samsung and LG, because the key, and also to some extent Motorola, because the key here is you have to be really good at software. Software is the key to all this. And some of these companies like Apple and Google and Microsoft understand software, and others don't, and are just, kind of run-of-the-mill hardware companies. But I think there's an enormous cloud over all this, and I think you can begin to see it in everything you've read and maybe experienced, some of you, with your iPhone, your 3G iPhones, which is, I really begin to wonder whether, at least in the United States, the 3G networks, which are supposed to provide a sort of broadband experience, actually are going to be able to hold up to having millions of devices like iPhones and Android phones and things like this that people use as little laptops. I mean, one of the reasons that you can't get connected on simple voice calls on your 3G iPhones is that the AT&T 3G network is immature. It's still rolling out, and at the moment it's rolling out, Apple has sold millions of these devices that people are using in a way that nobody has used, in the United States at least, has used a pocket handheld device before. So I really have significant concerns about whether, let's say, I don't know what the numbers are, I don't follow sales numbers very well, but let's say that Apple makes its goal of selling 10 million iPhones this year, and Google eventually sells some similar number, or T-Mobile or Google sells a similar number of these Android phones, and there'll be multiple models of that. And RIM has success with its next device. They all have decent web browsers, and they all have these apps that call on the web. You've seen some of them here at the show. They're very cool. I use them. I love them, But when I'm watching a video of a game in progress in baseball, which you can now do on your iPhone, that's pulling considerable bandwidth off this network that's still being rolled out. I really begin to wonder whether...
I'd agree. I think our federal government should be arrested for the way they've treated...
Arrested? Well, that's what we'll do, right?
Okay. I mean, this country has... We had someone at D a couple years ago, Masayoshi Son. He's like, I feel sorry for you. The United States is the third world of broadband. And the kind of, these... We are. Come on. Like, you sit there like an idiot, like, go.
Look, we had the FCC commissioner at our conference this spring, and we almost never do this. We by the way, we ban all PowerPoint from our conference. And... but I put up two slides. One showed where we ranked in average broadband speed in the world, which was, I think, 12th or 14th. Right. And one showed where we rank in what we pay per unit of broadband. We were number one. Right. So we have horrible broadband for which we pay more than anyone in the world. And I just put these two slides up. He did not know about this in advance. Kevin Martin, the head of the FCC, and I said, this happened on your watch. How did you allow this to happen? And he started mumbling about how Wyoming is really big.
Right. That's the last.
And I said, these charts are not about the distribution of broadband.
Right.
These are about the people who happen to already have it,
Right.
and they have really awful speed and really high price, and how did you allow this to happen? And he continued to mumble about how the country's really big. But
no,
and that's, you know, and that's landline broadband. But I really think that all these hopes for doing all these great things on mobile could run up against.
Oh, it absolutely. There's no question. I mean, the thing is that to me, the iPhone. I'm not as goggle about the iPhone. I like all these smartphones. The trend of iTouch, you know, the multi-touch is critically important. The idea of a computer in your pocket that's finally become realized. The connectivity, the wireless, the good browser, the good ability to browse the web are so incredible. I mean, right now it's, you know, pretty much the elite uses these phones, but eventually everyone's going to. I think it's going to get to a price point that's low enough, and that we have no ability to be sitting there and, you know, we're smart people with the most sophisticated equipment, and we are frustrated deeply. And I know it's being impatient, but when you go to Europe, this does not happen in any way. When you go to Korea, it doesn't happen. When you go anywhere, it doesn't happen. And it's sort of I'm looking at the current. Not to get into politics again with Sarah Palin or any of them, I don't think they know anything. I don't think they have any intent of being interested in this, and it's really, to me, we should invite a politician we can beat up at D. I think that's my feeling.
We should invite somebody to.
Yes.
Okay.
Like a president or something like that. Anyway.
Do you guys want to beat us up? Do you have any questions or
questions from anybody?
You notice we have no product, so.